that leg first. And then... Ow! God damn it! This is the worst idea! Wait, how do I... Perfect. Yes, I'm quite aware I could have made that a lot easier by just opening the other door, but that was more fun. Anyway, hey guys, Jimmy here. Welcome to the Mazda. And I figured that given that I'm going to be in Australia next week, and also there's meant to be a storm coming tomorrow, that I'm going to go out in the Mazda and enjoy it whilst the roads still allow me to. So if it's your first time here, this is my 300 plus horsepower Mark 1 MX-5, big old TDI5 turbo, built engine. Interior's been stripped, half cage in the back as well, soon to be a full cage hopefully, and basically is terrifying but also a lot of fun at the same time. So I figured that it'd be really nice just to go for a little ride and talk about my plans this year for this car and what I'm going to be using it for. First of all, let's see if she wants to play ball today, shall we? Fingers crossed she does. Good morning, girl. Hello. Wake up. So yeah, basically, if you're wondering why I got in through the window, it's because the lock on this door has kind of died. It's broken. It's locked shut, which is the best place to be locked. But it means I have to then get in either through that door and then climb over, or do the incredibly elegant thing I did just now, which is climb in through the window. I need to practice that a bit more. Right, let go. So as you can imagine, this car takes a little while to warm up. It's good to give it about 10-15 minutes before even looking at the throttle in an aggressive way at all, but it's just nice to kind of let it get up to speed a little bit after it's been resting for a while. Especially as this thing doesn't really have a cover or anything, I just leave it out on the driveway, which probably isn't the best thing for this car, but you know, really, I see it as it's meant to be this kind of rough and ready track car, so that's kind of how I treat it really. Also, I hope you guys can hear me. I've got an external mic on today to try and hopefully mean you can hear me talking over the car. It's quite loud in here, there's very little insulation, there's a very noisy gearbox just underneath me as well, so it's actually quite difficult to to speak under these conditions sometimes, but hopefully you can hear me alright. So let's talk a little bit about my plans for this car this year, shall we? So as you guys know, this has been built as a track car. It's a car that I want to take to circuits and really just use to get used to driving quickly on a track, because whilst I've done it a lot in sims, I've not really done it that much on tracks outside of a couple of kind of remote experiences. And really in that vein, you could argue that I've picked quite a difficult car to start with. This car has at the moment a depowered power steering rack, so the steering is super heavy. Of course, no traction control, no ABS, none of the modern comforts like that. And also, if you guys have seen the dyno graph for this, it's pretty much just a cliff when the turbo comes on, so it really is quite aggressive to drive, so I've given myself a bit of a challenge, but challenges are fun. So my plan this year is to take it on track a lot if I can, and see if I can get involved in any sort of hill climbing events, time attack series, stuff like that. I don't want to race this car, and by race I mean against other people. I want to drive it in a kind of a time attack scenario, because I don't trust anyone else on circuit. You never should. If you played iRacing, you know you can't trust anyone on the circuit ever. And I kind of want to get out there and just get used to driving this car fast before I even think about maybe finding a race class for it to compete in. Yes. It's kind of crazy to think though that despite all of the stuff that's been done to this car, that it's never been on a circuit before. It's never even seen a track. The closest it's been is in the Brands Hatch car park, which doesn't really count, to be honest. So I think really the main thing for me is getting that experience done first, and then we can start looking at any modifications that need to come next. Of course, when you hear time attack, you straight away you think of stupid wings and stuff like that. And to be honest, I don't think I'm far away from maybe looking into some basic aerodynamics for this car. But I think at the moment it's just need to get used to driving it as it is before I can start bolting stuff on. I think one of the biggest weaknesses we're going to have is probably the tyre width at the rear. Tyre width at the rear is currently 205, which isn't that big, especially considering the power and the weight of this thing. So that's something I need to look into. The reason why, oh god, it's bumpy along here. There's not really been a reason why I've not tried to put anything new on there. I do really think that we can fit a bigger tyre on the rear, of course, but when you start doing that and start having mismatching tyres, you need to then get it aligned again and stuff like that. So it's stuff that's on the list, but as you can imagine with other things as well going on in life, it's kind of hard to find the time to do all this. And oh my god, that sun is penetrating my eyes. Also, I hope you guys are liking the new camera setup for this one. This camera over here as well, hello. I wasn't really quite sure how to film this, because I know that looking at a single POV camera I think can be quite boring to watch. Your brain gets a bit bored, so I thought if I have two in here, then maybe I can try and make it a bit more interesting from that point of view. So we're just going to come into a national limit now. We're on the low boost. It doesn't really pick up to right at the top of the RPM, so here we go. See what I mean? Like, there was nothing there. You could hear it for quite a while on the low boost, kind of making noise, and then suddenly, at about 5,500 RPM, it goes, oh, okay, I'm awake now, and then you start flying forward. But I kind of get the impression that the low boost map on this isn't very good. I think this car is very much designed towards that higher boost map, you know, the 330 or so. It's about, I'd say probably in this weather where it's a bit colder, we're probably hitting that 330. When it's a bit warmer, it's probably nearer to 315 or so, but to be honest, it's quick enough. And when we get to a nice big long bit of road, I'll again give you a taste of that, but it's kind of hard to do that when we're not on the circuit, which is again why I want to go and do that and really get a feel for what this car has to offer. So I've just turned the little switch down here to turn it onto the high boost setting, and I'm not going to do like a proper pull here, but just to give you an idea of the difference in sound when the turbo comes on. She wakes right up. I do love this car. I was scared of this car for quite a while until I kind of forced myself not to be, you know. The car has been built incredibly well by the guys over at MTech. I can't say enough good things about the final product of this car. The journey was a bit bumpy, but the final product is fantastic. And this is going to upset a lot of faster cars, I think, when it gets onto a track. If I can get that traction down, it's going to be my main thing. I mean, in terms of weight, this car probably weighs, without me in it, shy of a ton, probably about 950, 960, somewhere around there. I would like to get it weighed actually and see how much it weighs, but you know, it's 300 horsepower per ton, this car. That's GTR level of speed, modern GTR level of speed. It's alright. I'm going to try a second gear one here. You can barely get through the gears quick enough. It's just savage. I think second gear was too low there. We are still on the stock final drive as well, so we've got pretty short gearing. I mean, hypothetically, this car will do about 130 mile an hour or so before hitting the limiter in fifth gear. I think maybe 125. So really, any bigger tracks, any longer straights than this, there's going to be issue there. So that's something else I need to look into, is a different final drive, which probably means a differential. That isn't from Mazda, but it is just one of those cars where you get into it, you know the experience you're going to get. I wear this belt on the road, by the way. People ask about this. I wear this belt on the road because there's no point in me wearing the harnesses at the moment. I'm not going crazy quick, and on the road this is more than enough to stop me from having some sort of crazy incident. It's what it's designed for, so I think it's better just to use this for now. But I do love this thing. There are some people who think that I've ruined the car somewhat by putting a lot of power into it, and I think honestly, if I had the time again, I might have gone down a different route. But I still love it. I still love that I can have this crazy car, which is, there isn't much on the road that's going to keep up with this. Case in point. Just incredible acceleration. My shifting needs some work, man, but incredible acceleration, but also incredible noise that you're hearing. I'm having to speak loud and spit loads because I have to talk over the car. So yeah, that's pretty much the plan for the car. Take it to a track and see what it can do. I'm very confident that it's going to be more than adequate on a circuit. I think the first time I go, I wouldn't mind maybe taking a mechanic with me, because if I'm completely honest, you know, my mechanics, I'd say I'd rate it maybe a 4 or a 5 out of 10. And when it comes to things like ECUs and performance, it's even less than that. So maybe it'll be a good opportunity for me to learn as well. That's always important. But I think that I think the first time I go, it might be a good opportunity to take someone with me, you know, just making sure that I'm not doing anything too stupid. You know, something that I haven't tested yet are the brakes. I don't know how the brakes are in this thing. Well, they are pretty decent once you get them warm, but I've not properly tested them, you know, like track abuse testing, because if you don't know, we have the Wilwood big brake kit on the front. I think it's just the four-pot calipers, I can speak. And we have just like a basic sport upgrade on the rear. So when you have this sort of power, you do want to upgrade the brakes too, otherwise you're going to end up having a bad time. But I've never used them in a track scenario yet, so I'm not quite sure how they're going to hold up, but I'm fairly confident they'll do well from the limited experience I've had on the roads with them. But yeah, that's pretty much the Mazda as it stands at the moment. Track weapon that hasn't had the chance to be used yet, but I'm very much looking forward to it. And if any of you guys in the comments are involved in any time attack series or hill climb series, or know someone who is, please send me a message or leave me a comment below. Even hit me up on Twitter or Discord, anywhere, because I'm interested in looking to get into it, and I don't really know the way to do so yet. So feel free to hit me up. I'm very much looking forward to exploring as much of that sort of content as I can this year, alongside the sim stuff, of course. But yeah, send me a message. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's not sim content, and a lot of you guys prefer that to the real life stuff, but I thought it'd be nice to bring the Mazda out, show you guys what's happening with it, given that it's been around on the channel pretty much as long as the channel's existed, and the plans for the year. And if you did enjoy it, I'd appreciate if you hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe as well if you want to see more content with the Mazda and the Skyline, hopefully coming up soon. And yeah, thank you to my patrons and sponsors. You're the reason why I can have this car, and I can kind of chase this route of motorsport. So without you guys, that wouldn't have happened. So I've got to say a big thank you to all of you. Anyway, take care, have an awesome day, and I'll see you when I get back from Oz. Ta-ta.